You're listening to STMK Radio 100.
I just believed in the plan on paper and just, you know, amongst the team, it always felt like it could work. It was a good plan. And that to be empowered the way we wanted to be empowered, to get to the level that we want to get to, that it was this route. And it seemed like you had to be comfortable being counted out at times, because if you was uncomfortable with that, that will put pressure on you to make decisions that might be premature, might work against you in the long run. That's why I call my whole shit the marathon.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I think it was a lot of pressure to like take the elevator or jump on somebody else's back for a moment, but the respect is what keep you in the game. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? And the distinguishing yourself through how you get there, you know, is what people really at the end of the day say, that I know his character from demonstration, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that was what was most important, and whatever we could accomplish within that boundary, that's what we wanted. We didn't want nothing else outside of that until we was, you know, in a position to get that on our own and in our own way. And so every time we make a step forward or make progress, it count for that much more because we know how we got here. We know we kept it pure.
Over here driving down Slauson, man. Driving down Slauson, 4 in the morning, man. Cause I can't sleep behind what happened to Nip, man. Why niggas do the homie like that, man? At his own motherfucking stop. His own place of business, that's how niggas do niggas, man. LA on some bullshit, homie, on me.
On Sunday at about 3:20 in the afternoon, Nipsey with 2 other males were standing in front of his store, as has been reported. That Mr. Holder walked up on multiple occasions and engaged in a conversation with Nipsey and the others that were there. He left and then came back, and subsequently came back armed with a handgun and purposely and repeatedly fired, striking and killing Nipsey Hussle, as well as striking and injuring the other 2. One requiring them to be hospitalized or transported to a nearby hospital, the other suffering a wound but was treated at scene. Mr. Holder, we have identified him through, at this point, the available video evidence, statements, and information that we're getting from our community. And I cannot thank enough that the community is the one who is helping us solve this case. As in every case, it is the community's engagement that makes our lives safer, that provides justice for these victims and their families. Mr. Holder entered the passenger side of a 2016 Chevy Cruze. It's a white 4-door vehicle. Its license plate is 7 Robert John David, that's RJD 742. And the vehicle was driven by an unidentified woman. That vehicle was located in the alley adjacent to that mini mall strip center where it fled from the scene. We have, as the mayor indicated, we continue to seek the public's help and assistance twofold. People that were at that scene or have information from people who were at that scene that can help identify further and provide us evidence of the persons responsible for this senseless murder. We ask that you call our South Bureau homicide detectives day or night. You also can use WeTip and Crime Stoppers and report anonymously. We're not done in gathering evidence on this horrific shooting. Secondarily, is we want the public to help us identify and apprehend Mr. Holder. Armed with a handgun, this senseless murder, this expression of violence represents that this is a man who is of a substantial risk to public safety and willing to use violence. And we want to see that stop. And we need the public's help in identifying him and to Mr. Holder, who I am confident is watching this and is listening to these media accounts as this is spread not only around this region, but around this world. I ask him to surrender, to find a local law enforcement agency, to go to a station and surrender, and to defend himself as he feels appropriate, but to stop this from continuing. Let me comment just briefly in regards to the context of this increase in violence. So January and February of this year, the city averaged approximately 13 shooting victims a week. And that number, while it may sound high, is actually for Los Angeles Police Department and the Lost City of Angels, it was at and below last year's numbers and the year before, substantially. March, we saw that number double to 26 on average. And nearly entirely that increase was in 77th area of the South Los Angeles. 77th in January and February experienced just under 5 shootings a week. That number expanded to nearly 15 on average a week in the month of March. Much of it is gang. In fact, nearly all of it is gang related. Nipsey Hussle's death and his tragic shooting, I have no information today that has that involved in this other shooting violence, and that needs to be stressed. What we're seeing here is not just a shooting of a hip-hop artist, a profound individual coming back to give back to his community. What I'm concerned about as chief, and I know our community leaders are as well, is we've got to continue to go at this recent increase in shooting violence because it's not just a dispute over a personal matter. This is gang violence that we're seeing particularly in South Los Angeles, but also on the west side and in other parts of the city that we need to redouble our efforts and keep working towards intervening and finding ways of resolving disputes without people resulting to a bullet with no name on it. So with that, we're here to answer questions and concerns. And I remind, as the mayor had indicated, that as we focus a lot of effort and energy in my remarks today and our remarks, that this still remains one of the safest times in Los Angeles. But we don't reach that safety by apathy or minimizing what we have in front of us. Each of these lives matter, and our commitment as a department, our elected officials who I'm proud of their work and investment, our community and faith leaders, is that we're relentless and we will not give up in seeing that our communities are safe. Thank you.
Can you give us a better idea about the motive?
At this point, our investigation, based on witness statements and the background of those that we've identified, we believe this to be a dispute between Mr. Hussle and Mr. Holder. I'm not going to go into the conversations, but it appears to be a personal matter between the two of them in regards to a dispute, and I'll leave it at that. I'm going to ask you to understand that we have identified Mr. Holder because based on yesterday, what we've learned in the first 24 hours, we believe him to be the responsible individual for this killing. And we have a responsibility as law enforcement to work and ensure that the public's made aware of that, as well as our officers and other law enforcement who may come across this individual who is armed with a handgun and willing to use such violence. We're working closely with the district attorney's office, and I do not wish to prejudice this case or undermine its success by going into too much detail relative to the facts and circumstances.
What's disrespect is the fact that the same shit that you were doing before that man got killed is the same shit that you're doing right now. That's what's disrespect. Because this is fucking reality. This is the shit that it is that y'all excuse. This is the shit that it is that your actions promote. This is the shit that it is that your inaction, your lack of action, your inability to get out and go and fucking do something. This is the shit that promotes. Bringing once rival gangs together, all for the sake of building his neighborhood, building his community, and doing things everything he could possibly do to quiet the violence that was killing so many fucking people. A man who was a day away from another one of those efforts by meeting with the chief of police and reps from Rock Nation and things like that to continue his efforts. That's why that man was killed. So many of you guys are continuing to do exactly what it is that man stood for eradicating. is continuing to tear each other down.
It's a crab in a bucket mentality where, you know what I mean, everybody doing bad. So when one person starts to move forward and you know, become a little bit successful, but you still within reach of these people, it's very hard because, you know, you're dealing with the pressures of trying to be successful as well as the pressure of people intentionally waking up to try to bring harm your way. You know what I mean? And try to stop you from doing that, because if I grew up on the same block you grew up on and we had the same trials and tribulations, but you became successful and I became a failure, it made me feel a certain way about myself because we had the same, we were dealt the same deck of cards. You know what I mean? So I feel like my success affect the people closest to me the most. A person that don't know me might root for me, you know what I mean, and be happy for me. And a person that know me and come from the same environment and had the same cards dealt to them, that keep going to jail, don't have no money, never made their parents proud or their mama proud, never did anything that they could look in the mirror and be proud of. You know what I mean? It makes them feel a certain way, and it's intense. And that shit manifests into jealousy, hate, violence. You know what I mean? And it's deep because it's a stigma about artists becoming Hollywood, especially street artists going Hollywood. But it's almost like if you don't, you're gonna sacrifice yourself for the opinions of others. You know what I mean? So people look at you as, oh, you keep it real, instead of in your heart doing what you know you had to do to attain your goal.
Just died mysteriously down there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you know how they play.
Oh yeah.
You know, niggas be dressing. Be careful, man. That plane gonna go down. So you better
Faced with this decision, it's a funny feeling. Knowing when you tell the truth, they gon' come and kill you.
Tell mama don't cry, cause even if they kill me, they can never take the life of a real G.
Stressed a young nigga out, but I'm so resilient. The champagne, Honda Civics, they was taking pictures.
I live thug life and let the money come to me, cause they can never take the game from a young G.
Real shit, you can mark my words. 85 colors, I'll make my swerves. Back him up, but only take one burst. Take a stand out to take one first. Rest in peace, have him paint your shirt. For niggas trying to take my work.
Yeah, what up?
But you know, these hoe niggas trying to take what's yours.
Rest in peace.
Fuck the world, feel the fury of the chosen man. Thug nigga, 10mm closing hand, put him in my range. Aim nigga, take 5. Watch him die, shoulda never fucked around with a solid ride. Riding low down a one-way, watch for gunplay. I hope we find true peace one day. Nobody cried when my dog died, set him straight. AK automatically retaliate.
Faced with this decision, it's a funny feeling. Knowing when you tell the truth, they gon' come and kill you.
Tell mama don't cry, cause even if they kill me, they can never take the life of a real G.
Stressed a young nigga out, but I'm so resilient. The champagne, Honda Civics, they was taking pictures.
I live thug life and let the money come to me, cause they can never take the game from a young G. I'm getting money
For these better days.
hustle, be careful, man. You ain't gonna go down. So you niggas better ride with me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't pray, right?
So many worried kids throughout the years, while pouring out liquor and beers for all my homies that wasn't here. Can't help but shed tears at the cemetery, making me wonder if this loaded bitch was necessary. Even the preacher can see the pain in my mother's eyes, while walking by can't help but sympathize when brothers die. Maybe the pain will make the situation change. No motive for murder, the homicide will never aim. The street became bullets is blasted, time passed, brothers in mass. Retaliation is the aftermath. Retaliation is the aftermath. Retaliation is the aftermath.
Faced with this decision, it's a funny feeling. Knowing when you tell the truth, they gon' come and kill you.
Tell mama don't cry, cause even if they kill me, they can never take the life of a real G.
Stressed a young nigga out, but I'm so resilient. The champagne, Honda Civics, they was taking pictures.
I live thug life and let the money come to me, cause they can never take the game from a young G. I'm getting money.
My nigga Nipsey, rest in peace. God bless the dead.
It don't stop till the casket drop. It's kinda hard to be optimistic when your homies lying dead on the pavement, twisted. Y'all don't hear me though. I'm trying hard to make amends, but I'm losing all my motherfucking friends. Damn, they should've shot me when I was born. Now I'm trapped in the motherfucking storm. How long will they move it?
All that remains is a corpse wrapped in plastic. Call up his mama, tell her her baby's in the casket. No love for him, just put his body in the grave. Even the pistol and all his prayers couldn't save him. Look how they played him. They should've murdered me when I was born, cause now I'm trapped in the violence of the storm.
How long will they move
Faced with
it?
this decision, it's a funny feeling. Knowing when you tell the truth, they gon' come and kill you.
Tell mama don't cry, cause even if they kill me, they can never take the life of a real G.
Stressed a young nigga out, but I'm so resilient. In Champagne, Honda Civics, they was taking pictures.
I live a thug life, but let the money come to me, cause they can never take the game from a young G.
When things get bad, especially come the 1st and the 15th, stay strong and stay ballin'. Hold on, I'll catch y'all at the next light.
Faced with this decision, it's a funny feeling. Knowing when you tell the truth, they gon' come and kill you.
Tell mama don't cry, cause even if they kill me, they can never take the life of a real G.
Stressed a young nigga out, but I'm so resilient. In Champagne, Honda Civics, they was taking pictures.
I live a thug life, but let the money come to me, cause they can never take the game from a young G.